Thanks for staying with us at STL Live. I'm Raina Ray. My guest is Katie O'Sullivan, and we're learning about the Missouri Botanical Garden. One of my favorite things to do, actually my absolute favorite thing to do. All right, it kind of ties with Cardinals baseball, but those two things anyway.
That's acceptable. Good company to be in.
Well, now you have a really exciting event coming up, so let's talk a little bit about that.
We do. Later this month, Garden of Glass opens at the Missouri Botanical Garden. It's an exhibit by an artist named Craig Mitchell-Smith, and he specializes in fused glass pieces. So it's a different form than what some people have seen before in blown glass, so something totally new to St. Louis.
I think you brought some pictures. So let's talk a little bit about some of those pictures.
Sure.
And what people can expect to see at the gardens when they come. Because what's this one? What's
going on here?
So this is
Craig in his studio. He is making some of the flowers that are in a piece called Orange Blossoms. He was nice enough to get 3 pieces ready ahead of time so that we could have them on display before the exhibit opened. So we have 2 on the garden grounds, and then there's actually 1 at the Butterfly House in Chesterfield as well.
And what's this one?
So this piece is currently in our Ridgeway Visitor Center. It's a giant orchid, and it was on display during our orchid show in February and March, and it still is now. So Craig was inspired by our orchid collection when he did that. This other piece is in our Linnaean house, which is the oldest greenhouse west of the Mississippi that we talked about earlier. And he was inspired for Orange Blossoms by the fact that that greenhouse used to house citrus plants and overwinter a variety of plants, and still does today. And then the blue morpho butterflies are at the Butterfly House in Chesterfield, so they get a little piece of the exhibit as well.
Oh, wow. So those butterflies, we won't see them there, but we can go to the Butterfly House and see them.
Correct.
But that's okay. So how is what Craig does different from blown glass?
So it's fused in a kiln, and that is how he did it. He kind of happened upon it by accident. He was doing it on his own, and someone profiled him for the garden that he had and saw this piece in his kitchen, asked him how he did it, and that's kind of how it took off. This will be his largest exhibit, and it will be the largest fused glass exhibit ever in the world that we're aware of.
Wow. All right, you mentioned that large orchid, and we saw a picture of it on the screen. How big is big? How big is that orchid?
It's definitely larger than life, a lot taller than I am.
Wow.
So most of his pieces will be around that size, sometimes 10 feet wide even. So he has a lot of different botanical related pieces, 30 in total, things like dandelions, and he has one St. Louis inspired one that he's calling St. Louis Blues, and just some other plants that people can see at the Botanical Garden and then also see his take on them.
Wow. One of the things I love about when the Botanical Garden does an event is you don't just limit it to one small space. It's really kind of spread throughout the garden, so you get to enjoy the entire garden while you're enjoying the event. Is this what we can expect here too?
So most of the pieces will be inside our Climatron, our geodesic dome, and there'll be an additional charge to get into the Climatron. But the great thing about what we're doing is on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday nights, Memorial Day weekend through the end of the show in August, the grounds will be open at night, which a lot of people like to stroll the garden in the summertime a little later in the day. So our grounds will be open at 7. We'll have live music every night, food and drinks available for purchase. You can go through the Climatron and you can walk the rest of the grounds as well.
That's pretty exciting. I think I want to do that because I've seen a couple of shows during the daytime and then I've gone back at night to see them when they've been lit up. And it's amazing. It's like a whole nother show.
Yeah, so the pieces will all be lit during our evening events.
Wow, pretty exciting. Well, can you tell I'm excited about this show? I'm trying to keep it in the low, but anyway, thank you so much for being with us here today. I'm looking forward to seeing this show. The Garden of Glass and the Climatron Conservatory goes from May 13th through August 13th at the Missouri Botanical Gardens, located at 4344 Shaw Boulevard. For more information about the Missouri Botanical Garden and the Climatron Conservatory, visit mobot.org. There's more STL Live after this. Stay with us.